G'day viewers, welcome back to another video. This video will be refining rolled gold. Not so long ago I did a video, a mailbox video, where one of my friends in America sent me some e-waste. Now in amongst that e-waste was this watch band, and he asked me specifically to do this on its own. Normally I would refine a lot more jewellery in one moment, but this, he wants to know how much he would have got if he had refined this himself. So I'm going to refine it on its own to show him how much gold and how much silver he would have gotten if he had done it. So I'll go and put it in the beaker and we'll get started. Alright, so I've got it in the beaker. I'm going to add some distilled water. And you can't use tap water for this, it's got to be distilled because there's silver involved. There will be silver and copper and other base metals in amongst this, which is what we're going to strip out. I'm going to do a nitric acid bath to remove all the base metals, and that should leave me hopefully just pure gold, which I can then dissolve. So I've got the water in there now. I'm going to add some nitric acid and turn it on to some heat and let it do its thing. I'll put the lid on, put the heat on, about half temperature will do fine, and just wait. Alright, so it's been on the heat now for well over an hour, and I'd say there's not a lot of free nitric left in there, so I put some more in and let that go to work. Now I don't know how good this rolled gold is, because you can see gold floating on the surface. That normally doesn't happen unless it's plated. Now I have bought some supposedly rolled gold from eBay and been stung because it was nothing more than plated. Just because it says on there rolled gold or gold filled, which is exactly the same thing, it doesn't mean that it's real. There's lots of fakes getting out there, and I hope for this person who gave me this, I hope for his sake this is not plated, because I planned on sending him the gold as a surprise, because he didn't ask for it back, he just wanted to know how much I got. But I was going to send it to him. If I do get any gold, I will send it to him, and silver, and surprise him. So I hope for his sake there is real gold there. It's not looking good if there's floating on top foils, but we'll see. So I'll turn this up a bit more and let that extra nitric do its job, and the next time I come out to replenish it, I'll actually pour that solution off, put some new distilled water and new nitric in there, but I'll be able to inspect whatever's in there to see if it is still there or whether it's been dissolved and left its foils behind. I hope that makes sense. It does to me, but if the new people out there don't understand, please let me know. I'm happy to explain. Okay, so it's been another hour or so, not exact, probably an hour and a half, something like that, and I'll take this off the heat and let it cool down a bit. Now one of two things will happen if this is gold plated. There'll be nothing left, just some foils, or whatever the base, whatever the watch was made of, if it's stainless steel, that'll still be left in the bottom. If it's gold, rolled gold or gold filled, which is what we're hoping for, then there'll be brown metal at the bottom, which is the gold. But if it's gold plated, rolled gold or gold filled, then there shouldn't be any foils, and there are foils in there. The only time there would be foils is if it's plated, so I really hope this isn't for his sake. So now I'm going to pour this off. It's going to be hot, but I'll just have to put my big boy's pants on. It's not looking good. It's really hot. That's all that's left. So that's a good sign, because that could be rolled gold. So now I'm going to put some more water in there, and I'm hoping it's not going to crack. I'm going cold water straight into a hot thing, but I'll be gentle, just put a little bit in and see what happens. Yeah, that's alright. There's not a lot there. I would have expected a lot more if that was gold filled, but it's better than nothing. So now I'm going to put some more nitric in there. And the reason why I'm doing this, not just leaving it all in there, is because I want to know if there's any more colour. If I see any more colour in solution, that means there's still base metals coming out. And if it stays clear, then I know I've got all the base metals. That's the whole reason why I poured that off. When that cools down, that'll be tested to see if there's silver in there. Now, if that is gold filled or rolled gold, which is the same thing, then there would definitely be some silver in there and some copper. If it's gold plated, they're not going to use expensive metals like silver. Well, it's not expensive, but it's more expensive than copper. So that would most definitely, if it's plated, be made of copper only. Well, you can see that it hasn't dissolved, so there must be something other than copper. So that means there would be silver in this solution. Now it's getting late now, so I'll put that up on the table and let it cool down and test it tomorrow. This can go back on the heat for now, and I'll have to run out later and turn it off. And yeah, we'll come and see this tomorrow. Okay, so before I go and check the beaker, I need to explain something before you guys comment that I was wrong. The gold foils that I saw in there were tiny little foils, and I said to get that it must have been plated. Now I know the eBay refiner. If you know who the eBay refiner is, he's the guy that thinks YouTube is made simply to advertise his YouTube channel, his eBay channel. He does a lot of gold filled and rolled gold material, and he gets gold foils. I don't dispute that, but he gets the item that whatever he put in there stays in that shape. So in my situation, it would be foils the same shape as the watch frame that we did, not tiny little foils. The only way it could be tiny little foils like what was in there is if it was plated. So that's why I said that. And also I said that I should end up with brown gold in the beaker. And again, I know that the eBay refiner, that's not his real name. I don't want to say his real name. He's got 200,000 subscribers. He doesn't need me to advertise him. I know that he doesn't end up with brown gold from doing rolled gold filled material. He gets, like I said, the gold foils. But in the past, I have ended up with brown gold, and I don't know why. I don't know why it's any different to what he does, but that's how it's ended up. So we'll go and check it, and I'm pretty sure that there would be brown gold. And just like I said, brown gold. Now there's the smallest little bit of colour to this solution, a very slight blue. Not even, it was just so slight that I'm happy with that. There will be free nitric in here, so I'm going to put this solution aside so I can reuse it As you can see, the gold, or whatever's left over, I'm assuming is gold, is brown. I don't know why it's different to what the eBay refiner gets, but it is nonetheless. So I'll take this over here, and I've got to organise something to filter it into. So I'll get a new clean beaker. This one should be plenty. And I've got a brand new pile of funnels here. They stick together here, so I've got to try and separate them. Not so easy one-handed. There's one out. Alright, now a filter. These filters I find are really good because they're cone shaped. Usually filters have a flat bottom to them. They're not very good for putting into a funnel. These being a cone shape fit really well. So if ever you guys are looking for filters, I've got these on wish.com. They're not very expensive at all. Sometimes they're white, sometimes they're brown. It makes no difference. All I do is I fold the corner. This is where they've stuck the paper together. I don't know what you call it. Crimping. I just fold the crimping over, and I find that it fits in the funnel better. And I open it up like that, put it in the funnel, and a perfect fit. So now I'll filter off this nitric solution. I can use that again for something different, making sure none of this brown stuff goes in. I'm hoping that's gold. So I'll give it a little bit of a rinse just to get that nitric out, because there was a slight bit of colour to it. So there's a tiny bit of colour to that liquid now, not blue colour but brown colour, so there would have been small fragments of gold, but that's fine, because I'm also going to filter this green solution that we poured off yesterday, and any gold that's in there will be caught in this filter, and then I can put that filter in with this gold so I don't miss any of it. I just need another vessel to put that in. I really need to organise my table a bit better. There's running out of room. Speaker will be fine. This is also nitric solution that I've used recently, and even though there's a bit of copper in there from the colour you can see, there's also still some free nitric. I like to keep all my acids like this because it can be used still, and I use up all my acids until they're completely finished. I don't know the word, I can't think of the word. Just wait for that last bit to go through. There's definitely some gold in there, as you can see, only a tiny bit, but it all adds up. So we're not going to get a lot out of this tiny bit, not much at all. Well, this was definitely not a good quality gold filled item. There should be a lot more gold than that. So I'll pour this into here. that could be gold as well. Yeah, it is. It's purple. Purple is the color of gold. All that purple down in there. So that's good. So now we know where some of my gold's gone. So I'm going to need to squirt that out with 2 hands. Need one hand to hold it. So I'll do that and come back. Alright, that's done. Now just going to wait for it to drain through. Depleted was the word I was looking for. I use all my acids until they're totally depleted, meaning that there's no more strength to them. They won't work anymore. So this will probably have some free nitric in there. And even though that this and the blue one have got base metals into it, it's still usable if I was to remove silver from plated items, or something along that line. If I'm going to do another nitric bath like I did with this gold, I could still use that nitric acid for it, because it's going to end up getting base metals in there anyway, so it makes no difference if it's got some in there or not. This not having anything in there, or very, very tiny amount, I'm going to keep separate. I could add it to that, but I'd rather keep that separate for something else that I can't think right now, but you never know, I might need some nitric solution for something, I don't want base metals in it. No more rambling. I'm just going to wait for that to finish filtering, and then I'll drop that filter into here with the gold and put some aqua regia in there and see what we can get out of this. I'm glad that I managed to get all that gold out of the bottom of this beaker. It was in foil form, as I said to you, but obviously so fine that it's gone to dust. And I know nothing would be dissolved in the way of gold, because nitric on its own does not dissolve gold. So at least there's more than I thought. Like this here wouldn't be much, but having what's in there as well is going to be a help. Well, we're back when this is done. Alright, so I'll get the filter with the gold in there and put it down into this one with the gold at the bottom, and I'll put some hydrochloric acid in there. I really hope he gets a decent amount out of this. I don't think there's going to be, but that much should be plenty. Probably wouldn't even really need that much, but that's alright. I'm going to put a tiny bit of nitric acid, because too much would mean I have to denox it, and that's a waste. I'd rather be able to put a little bit and then some more later if needed. There's plenty. Now I'll go and put this in the heat. I do this outside, out in the open here, because the fumes, I don't want them to travel inside the house from the patio. So I've got all this open space here. If I do it under the patio, then fumes could go in through the back door, but more the point, the fumes will go up and destroy this tin roof. And it's not my house, so I can't go destroying someone's roof. So now I'm going to test the nitric solution that we had boiled the gold in, to see if there's any silver. What I've done is I've poured some into this little beaker, and I've got some hydrochloric acid in this pipette. I'll put that in there, and if there was any silver, it'll go cloudy. And as you can see, it's cloudy. It's not nice and clear anymore. So there is silver in there. So I'm going to get some copper. I've got some copper pieces here which had silver coatings on them, and I've already removed them. Then there was tiny bits left on there. I'm going to place these in the bottom. Any silver that's remaining on there will get dissolved in, but there's only a tiny bit, so that's fine. And I'm aware that there's still free nitric in here, which means some of this copper will get dissolved. That's fine too, I've got plenty of copper. So I'm going to lower this down in there without dropping it and breaking my beaker. And look at that, instantly there's a reaction. Most of that's just all this loose stuff coming off. One piece will be enough. So I'll leave that in there to do its thing. So first what will happen is the excess nitric will consume copper, and then after that it will plate out onto the copper. And we should be left with some silver at the bottom, which I can then melt up and send along with the gold. Okay, it's getting late now, and it's due to rain the next 2 days, probably starting tonight, so I can't leave this out in the open. And it looks like it's all dissolved. There's some tiny bits, very tiny dark spots, which are moving around. So what I'm going to do, there was no more fumes when I came out, so the nitric that was in there has been used up. I'm going to put a tiny bit of nitric in there, like just a few drops, and just leave it off the heat overnight, because I need to put this back under the patio. There shouldn't be too many fumes coming off if it's not on heat, and over the next day or so it should dissolve that last little bit. And then I'll be able to process it further. Once it cools down, I'll put some ice in there. That'll drop out any more silver that could be in solution. So I'll turn it off for now and take it in under the patio. I put about 5 drops of nitric in there, and as you can see the reaction restarted. And that should be plenty. There was only the tiniest little bits in there still. I'll evaluate it tomorrow. I'll have a look and see what's in there tomorrow. That should be more than enough. So the copper's been sitting in this solution for about an hour, and you can already see there's grey cement silver in the bottom. So that's nice. I'm not expecting a whole lot, but anything I get will be sent to him. Most likely won't melt it into a button because it'll be such a small amount. I have tiny little vials. I might just put them, wash and clean properly the cement silver and dry it and put that in a vial. And I think I'll do the same with the gold, because well, we'll see how much comes out when I drop it, but if there's only a tiny bit, I'll do the same thing, dry the powder, put it in a vial and send it to him. But we'll see. There might be some more in there, might be enough. Alright, so that's nice and clear as you can see, but there is paper pulp at the bottom from the filter paper. Test it with some stannous, even though I know there's gold in there. It's just a good practice to do. So I'll get a piece of paper. Whoop, another piece of paper in the mix. Alright, so we're going to do this without dropping this one. Okay, and I'll get some stannous, which I've just made, a nice fresh batch. So I'll put this paper down here. Sorry, I'm trying to move the camera around, hold the camera and everything. And as you can see, that's a positive. It's a slow positive because there's not a whole lot in there, but it's still a positive. So I've got a filter here set up. I'll pour this in to get rid of all the paper pulp. It's a nice clean beaker. I just got it out the cupboard. Because when you're going to precipitate gold, you want to get a nice clean beaker. You don't want add any contaminants to it after you're trying to get it all nice and pure. Now I need to rinse this beaker out, so I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so that's filtering now, and that positive has gone nice and dark purple, which is good. So it took a while, but at least it's a nice dark response. While I wait for that to filter through, the silver has finished dropping. There wasn't a lot, but there was no more precipitating out. So I'm now going to set up another funnel in this. Doesn't matter that this beaker's dirty, because I'm going to catch the silver in a filter anyway. So I'm going to set up a funnel on here and start filtering the solution here to get the silver. Now I've decided, seeing as though there's going to be such a little amount of silver, I might as well melt it into a little button. It'd be a lot easier to send him a little button than it would be a vial of next to no silver powder. It wouldn't be worth it. So I'll melt that into a button. I'll melt the gold into a button, and I'll get it sent off as soon as it's all done. I won't refine this a second time. I'll leave that for him to do. I think he would enjoy that. It should be fairly clean, fairly pure. Should be 3 nines maybe. Well, I was going to drop the gold, but there's some silver chloride by the looks of it at the bottom, and something collected in the filter. I don't know what. Looks like silver as well, because it looks exactly the same as the silver in there. So I'm going to run this back through this filter again, and then put this filter with this one. Running it through this filter a second time should bring it up nice and clear. Okay, I've got a concentrated solution of SMB in water, and we're going to drop this gold. It doesn't matter that I put so much in. You're supposed to dilute gold anyway, gold solution. It drops easier from a diluted solution, which is one of the reasons why I dissolve my SMB into water first, because while I'm putting SMB in, I'm also putting water in. It kills 2 birds with 1 stone. As you can see, we're getting a nice colour change. So this is not trickery, it's not edited, this is real time. It's going nice and dark on top in there. I'll give it a stir. It's getting darker and darker. It's not a very fast change because there's not a lot of gold. If there was lots of gold in there, it would be instant. So that's one way you can find out if you're going to get a nice return or not. But it is going, as you can see, it's nice and dark now, and it's only going to get darker and darker, and then it'll go clear as all the gold falls to the bottom. But that could take some time. So I just wanted you to see the colour change now that's happened. I'll come back later when it's all dropped and we can process the gold, like clean it up. Okay, so the gold has dropped nicely. Not quite clear liquid, which means there's some contaminants. A little bit of gold stuck to the glass. That'll come off when I pour it out. So I'm going to clean up the gold and melt it. And in this filter here, I've got his silver. But there's also a little bit of something down here which I think is silver. Not sure what that is. So I'll clean that up and add that to it as well. And I'll be back for the weigh-in, see what we got. Okay, so I've had a little bit of a misadventure. it's not that big a problem. But this was a brand new melt dish, just like these ones. I seasoned it with borax, then I put the silver in there, and there wasn't a whole lot in there to start with, and when I burnt it, I used a soft flame from my little micro torch, and it just seemed to burn away to nothing, and bits of ash flew out, like really light stuff. There wouldn't have been any silver in it, and I couldn't work out what was going on. I thought there's got to be some silver there. Anyway, I figured, okay, well, that was a shame, so I put the gold in there, and I melted the gold. Now, if you look at it, it looks really nice from here. And when you roll it over, it's got silver on it. And of course, I'm looking through these goggles because I use my gas thing. When I look closer at the dish, I don't know if you can see, there's little tiny spots of gold still in there, and there's also little spots of silver still in there. So, in me and my stupid wisdom, I should have just used a separate container, a separate melt dish, but I figured since the ash blew out, it didn't look like there was anything in there. So the gold is now contaminated yet again with silver, and there's these little bits in here. So I'll see if I can pick it up and show you. I don't know what's coming over the screen. Trust me, there's little bits all over it. So what I'm going to do is put this little button, this little bead of gold, back in there to get it to molten, and move it around the dish and try and collect all those little bits of gold and silver. And I won't refine it, it's too small, there'll be a waste of acids to refine it. I'll just send it to him as is, and it's pure gold just with a bit of silver in there. And it's easy for him to refine. I can explain it to him over the phone. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll be back when there's a yield. So it just goes to show, we all make mistakes. So if you guys have made mistakes, don't worry. It's totally human. It's what you do with those mistakes and how you pick up from them that matters. So I'll be back when I've got something to show you. Okay, so when you look at the bottom, it looks nice and gold. When you look at the top, there's the tiniest bit of silver on it. I'd say there's next to hardly any in there. It's just a little bit, enough to discolour it, but most of it's nice and gold. So I thought it would be a lot bigger. I thought it would weigh more, but according to this, it's, so you might as well say 0.6 of a gram. I really thought it'd be like 1 or 2 grams, but that's what it is. And I'd say easily 0.50 would be gold, easily, if not more, because there's only the tiniest bit of silver on there. So that's what I'm going to send off. Like I said, I would have liked it to be more for him, but that's what I got. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and see you in the next video. Bye.